Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Saturday morning, it's quite early, and it's a naff day. It's perfect for what I want. The skies, I've been waiting for this moment for such a long while, for the skies to be just as they are today, and the tide to be in, and this early in the morning as well, because on the island where I live there's a lot of tourists, and they won't want to come down the beach when it's like this, especially on a Saturday. So I pretty much got the beach to myself, apart from this gentleman here with his dog. And you can see he's got his brolly. And I've got my brolly as well. Ta-da! But anyway, so I don't know if you can see out there, but I'm looking for simplicity today, and the sky's perfect. It's very light overcast, everything's very flat. And you can hardly see an horizon out there, and that's what I'm after, just very simple, simplicity looking black and white print. So I'm going to be staying right here taking photographs of that port hand marker and the wave breakers as well. And to do that I've got the Mamiya RZ67 and a roll of Ilford Pan F 50 as well. And I've bought the 50 out because I don't have any ND filters for this, so I want to kind of get longer exposures. So using this film at 50 ISO, I'm going to shoot it at 50 as well. I should be around sort of 1 or 2 second exposures, which would be ideal for this sort of scene. Before I carry on, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get a notification next time I post a video. Cheers! I've got the film loaded inside the camera. It's a little bit drizzly, so I've just got a cloth on top of the camera just to protect it until I get down there and I can put my umbrella up. So I'm going to drip down your neck, you bagger. I'm going to do my meter in here. It's flat light, so I'm just going to use some incident readings and see what I'm getting. So 50 ISO, f32 at 2 seconds. So 2 seconds is going to be a nice long, long exposure, semi-long exposure. So 2 seconds I'm going to be shooting, which will be enough just to see that sea a little bit smooth. But I need to allow for reciprocity on that film. Okay, so I've got the cable release inside the lens itself. This is a leaf shutter, so I've got the cable release actually on the lens. What I need to do is cock the shutter, which lifts the mirror on this camera, and then I can release the leaf shutter using the cable release. That way I'm going to eliminate any shake or any movement at all from the camera slapping, you know. Oh, it's stopped raining, wonderful. Okay, 1 second shot. That's 1 second, and another one at 2 seconds. Done. Let's change composition. This time I've got all the wood out of the way, so it's just the sea, the wave breaker, or whatever it is, the port hand marker, and the horizon. Ah, there's a little bird just gone on the thingy. Let's see if I can get him in the shot. 1 second. Can you see the bird on top of the port hand marker? 1 second. 2 seconds. Do one more, 4 seconds. I think that'll be too overexposed, but we'll try it anyway. So that was a 1 second, 2 second, and 4 second exposure. And now the next shot I want to get is just going to be the woods sitting, just sticking out of the water there. You can see the lowest parts of the wave breakers. So I just want to get a shot of them. I'm just going to change the composition again. Whee! I'm going to ditch this umbrella now, guys. 1 second. 2 seconds. So that was a quick edited roll of the darkroom session that I had making this print. There's the print there. Make sure you can see it without all the lights on it. That's the print there that I made, and I'll just show you what I went through. I'll show you some of the test strips and what I went through to do the testing to get that final print. And then after that, I'll show you one more print that I made from those negatives, one that I really do like, which was quite close to that wave breaker, the wood, the jetty. It came out really well. The light on the wood was really nice. So I'll show you that in a sec, but let's get on with these test strips. I'll show you how I made that print that I just showed you. So this is how I made that first print. You can see these are my test strips. I've got one piece of 5x7 paper and cut it into 4 sections. I didn't bother with your normal increments. I just kind of had a hunch. So I started off with a 2.5 grade filter at 20 seconds. That was too muddy. Then I went 2.5 grade filter 15 seconds. It was still a bit muddy. 10 seconds started to show a bit of interest for me, albeit the port hand marker was a little bit light than what I wanted. But everything started to work around 10 seconds with a 2.5 grade filter. So then I wanted to see what 2.5 grade filter with 10 seconds plus a grade 5 filter at 10 seconds would do, and I kind of ended up ruining it again, getting a bit muddy there. So I ended up going for a split grade. I put a contrast 0 in for 5 seconds and a contrast 5 filter in for 5 seconds, and it was okay, but it still weren't cutting the mustard. So I did another split grade, contrast 0 for 5 seconds and a contrast 5 filter for 7.5 seconds, and I just started to get where I wanted to go. And then that was the last test strip I did before I made the bigger prints. Contrast 0 filter for 5 seconds, and then I did a contrast 5 filter for 10 seconds. And then just for another 10 seconds with contrast 5, I just graduated the C at the bottom, and then just freehand, then I just burned in using my burn tool this little shadow here, and it all seemed to come out quite nice. So you can see what I went to try and make that print using the contrast filters. Ended up with contrast 0 and contrast 5, pretty much split grade but different times between the two filters. And then I went off and made this one still wet. Actually, I started looking at this negative here, and I quite liked it. You can see there's lots of detail going on in the wave breaker, and also the little bird, the seagull. Oh, Sebastian, he's still sitting up there on the crow's nest there, or the seagull nest. And I've got bags of detail in the sea. This was only a 1 second exposure. So, sorry, a 2 second exposure. No, 1 second exposure. Was it 2? Yeah, one. This was a 1 second exposure, sorry. And you can see a bit more detail in the sea, but still we've got this simplicity going on in the background. Tricky to see the horizon. But the only trouble is with this print, is that I dropped it. The only trouble with this print is just at the top of the sky, it kind of blends in with the paper. I didn't want that. I like to see the print area away from the paper, so you can see it's quite light at the top. So I went off and done a little bit more jiggery pokery, and again this one's still wet. I'm going to make another print of that, so I'll show you this one being done in a minute. A little bit of burning at the top and a bit of dodging around the wave breaker, and also around the sea area here using a contrast 5 just to make it pop a little bit more. But you can see now I've got detail. The print area stands out from the paper, you know, the white of the paper. We can see exactly where we are on the print. So I'll just show you this one here. I'm going to make another print of this and I'll show you how I'll get on with it. So the second print I made, which was the wave breaker, like I said, I like the light hitting the wave breaker. I started off with a 2.5 grade filter, did that for 15 seconds, and then I used a contrast 5 filter afterwards to do a little tiny bit of burning around the sea area and also the port hand marker as well. So I'm just going to make another print of that. I'll show you what I was up to. I'll change the angle of the camera so you can see more of the baseboard, what I'm doing. So hopefully you can see this on the baseboard. That's the image being projected from the negative. Just going to check my focus, get my board head in the way. Focus is good. Slot the paper inside my template. Someone asked me the other day, how do I get these so straight? It's always hit and miss. It's not always that easy, but it's certainly cheaper than buying one of those expensive easels for larger paper, which I haven't got. So anyway, right, that's that done. And if you can see this, I'm using this dodge tool here. I'm going to turn the red light on, you might be able to see better. Trouble is, when I turn this red light on, you can see what I'm doing, but I can't see my own print. Just walked into the camera then. But I'm just going to use this dodge tool and just dodge around the wooden wave breaker throughout that 15 seconds. I did do it at 10 seconds originally, but the sky wasn't burning at all, so I had to go just that extra 5 seconds. So I'm using this dodge tool just to cover the wood area during the projection. I'll show you what I mean. Turn this red light off again, so you can see. Just covering certain parts of it in particular that bit down the bottom there. Done. So here's my second box of tricks, which is the tool with the burn hole in it. You can see the burn hole just here, and I'm now just going to burn light around the C area using a contrast 5 filter. In goes the contrast 5 filter. Now the idea of the contrast 5 is it won't burn my highlights too much, but it will concentrate more on the blacks, and that's exactly what I'm after. So I'm just going to do this freehand. So I've just turned the light on, bring it down, just starting to burn around that C area, particularly on the negative, what shows as white parts, because I want those to go a bit dark around the edge, and then bring it down. Change the burn tool, slightly smaller one, just for that port hand marker. Bring it down. Right, so that's done, and the last thing I did, I just used my hand and covered and burned the sky in over this area. So see if I can get this right. A bit cack-handed because the camera's in the way this time. And then off. Okay, let's develop that. Here it goes. And you can see the image now starting to come through. Got some nice tones going on. So I'll let that go for a little bit longer and we'll stop and fix, get it washed. And there it is. So I've still got that nice simplicity look there. The wave breaker has got nice detail in it. I've managed to keep the highlights back as I burned longer, just a little bit more for the sky, so it kept itself separated from the white of the paper, and also burned in some of the sea just to make it pop a little tiny bit more. And we've got some nice shadows going on where the exposure was 1 second. So really happy with the print that I made. Got a couple of dust spots on it, but nothing I can't sort out with a reprint. It happens. So that's about it. I came out with a couple of decent prints from that shoot, and literally I woke up, saw what the morning was like, and went off to the beach to get what I envisioned for quite some time, and that morning was perfect for what I wanted. So I just went down there, grabbed it, came back, and to be honest with you, I only wanted that one photograph of the port hand marker or the wave breaker marker in the middle of the sea. Just that very simple simplicity, as I called it at the start of the video. Very simple print. But then I saw the other one with the wave breaker, the wood, and the light was hitting the wood just right, so I printed that one as well. And for those that are interested in darkroom printing and film photography, I've just started a SFLAB members community area on YouTube channel, so you can join on there. I'll put the link in the description below. Jump on there. There's going to be much more content and some live streams coming up as well. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from the darkroom. I've enjoyed it. Made a couple of prints. As always, I'm always learning something new. I'll catch you next time.